Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to my match reaction to Burnley 1, Everton 0. Everton lose once again, and once again it's because of zonal marking from a set piece. That's the bottom line of it, to be quite honest with you. How many times does it have to happen before somebody gets a grip? At this rate, it's clear that Marco Silva's stubbornness is going to cost him his job. And to be quite honest, I've been very sympathetic towards Marco Silva of late, but today's the day he lost pretty much all of his goodwill in my book. I feel he's rapidly running out of chances. We go into the international break, possibly in the bottom three. No other word for it than disgraceful, given the investment the club has made and how much Marco Silva has been back since he took over as manager. The international break comes with bad timing off the back of all of these defeats. Alternatively, it could prove to be good timing if the hierarchy decide to sack Silva, but I don't think they will. But I'm starting to think, unfortunately, that is the only way. I think Marco Silva's time is up at Everton at this rate. I had a feeling that we were going to struggle today as soon as I saw the lineups. Another 4-2-3-1 setup, which is really infuriating me, I'm not going to lie. There's got to be some sort of change of system because teams like Burnley and pretty much every other team in the league have sussed us out at this stage, and that proved to be the case again today as they kept us out comfortably and then snatched the win when we went down to 10 men, in case you missed it. And if you did, you were one of the lucky ones. The game was cagey. Seamus Coleman got sent off for 2 bookable offences, and then we conceded from a set piece. So basically seems like just another day at the office for Everton, as it seems to be these days. Ironically, we actually knocked the ball around better when we went down to 10 men. We looked more cohesive. On the other hand, the man less did cause the zonal marking to become even more ineffective than it already was anyway. I'm not defending the players, that's for sure, and we didn't play well. But this system is clearly failing them, not just the zonal marking, but the whole setup. So many aspects of Marco Silva's tactical setup are horribly wrong, and you just can't seem to grasp it. I usually try to avoid the easy way out, which is to blame the manager, but I do believe that this is now his fault. You cannot keep persistent with this same 4-2-3-1 formation, which literally the entire Premier League has figured out, and you can't expect to see improvements while that remains the case. You're a Premier League manager, for goodness sake. Do you not have one iota of tactical flexibility? How can you be so stubborn as to not see the problems unfolding before you and at least try to work something out different in between games even, as to what we could do differently next time? Okay, the players haven't showered themselves in any glory recently, and they should take some blame, but what can they do when a manager is insistent on making them play in a certain way, and that way is clearly not working? What concerns me most is that I think we're becoming a place for managers to simply come and get a tidy pay packet, get themselves sacked halfway through, get a tidy payoff, and then get themselves on some other club's payroll and make a tidy buck there. It seems Farhad Moshiri is being fleeced at the moment. He hasn't come across to me, certainly in the time he's been here, as the best judge of a football manager. And particularly now Marcel Brands is on the board. And I'm not saying Marcel Brands should be exempt from any criticism either, but he's now on the board. He's the director of football as well. I feel it should lie with him and only him if Silva goes to decide who the next manager is, and he should be looking into deciding what kind of identity we want to have as a football club, because we are so lost right now. I know I am. Where do we go from here? It's hard to see which manager we can go for next who isn't going to shortchange us. He's going to shortchange not only Farhad Moshiri and the board, but most importantly, us fans. We deserve so much better than to constantly be represented by clueless tacticians who, one by one, have continued to fail the club, who, let's be honest, pays them a considerable amount of money to try and get things right. And the onus now, again, seems to be going back to Farhad Moshiri and the board, Marcel Brands and co, to make a decision. We don't want to become a sacking club, I know. I've said that many a time already since the start of this season, but it is becoming more and more evident that Marco Silva has not got a clue what he's doing. Now, the obvious question will be, from all quarters, who do we get instead? But at this stage, we've got to do a lot of soul searching. The key element for me Now, when we're looking for a next manager, has to be tactical flexibility. I spoke about it earlier in the show, but after having witnessed the very same sort of tactical stubbornness under Roberto Martinez, Koeman and Sam Allardyce, we're still seeing that at present. That we've got managers who are stuck in their ways and refuse to change things even when it's glaringly obvious that it isn't really working. Whichever manager we replace Marco Silva with, and I do think we will end up replacing him, I don't think this can go on much longer. Even if it isn't this international break, I think by the next one we might be changing coaches. But whichever manager we replace him with, he needs to have a preferred system, certainly, but he must come equipped with alternative ideas. I'm sick and tired of managers of Everton not having a plan B when the chips are down, and I'll be quite honest, I consider that to be one of the main reasons why we are so bad at winning from losing positions. We always talk about the lack of character, maybe, and not coming from behind to win very often, but I do believe that that's because of the system as well. I don't believe when teams have sussed out the system, they can defend against it very easily, and it's hard for us to come from behind. I think Silva's just the latest manager to fall into that category, but it's now looking like he's very much washed up at Everton, and I imagine I'm speaking for more and more fans here that Silva has pretty much lost all of the goodwill that he had at Everton from the fans, and we fans deserve a lot better. That's the most important thing. We do not deserve to suffer this kind of dour football, and we certainly don't deserve a manager who does absolutely nothing to try and change it. So until I see some sort of change, and I'm not very confident that that will be the case, I am the newest member of the Silva out camp. I'm very much done with what I've seen the last couple of weeks, and I think it's only going to get worse unless he makes some drastic decisions over this international break. It might not be a popular decision with some people, but to be quite frank, I can't take much more of this. So there you have it, guys. Burnley 1, Everton 0. Let me know your opinions on the game, God forbid, on Marco Silva and on the players as well. Let us know what you think of all of those sort of issues and where the blame lies. Maybe drop us a comment and a like on this video. And I know, guys, it's not always the easiest to tune in for this type of content when things are as dark as they are right now, but we are really appreciative of your support, and we will, after all, stick this out together as we always seem to do. So be sure to give us a subscribe too, and like I say, guys, thank you guys for watching, whatever the weather, on the Toffee Blues, and I'll see you later.